Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first of the last set of games tonight here on the Fatality League of Legends stream. Tonight, FourCourtJester and Fatal1ty are going to be taking you through this $5,000 matchup between both teams solo, mid, and just your average Joes. I know, I'm a little excited here, Fatal1ty.
As am I. This should be a very interesting game. Both teams are really strong on both sides. They have their own, and wow, we are flying into Champ Select here.
Yeah, seriously. We have 6 bans in the matter of 10 seconds. Pretty awesome. Yeah. Before we do get you into that, once I do get from Fatality the winner of the last question, I will announce that, and then we will ask the next question. It will be another grand prize that you guys can win. So we're just waiting on all that to get set up. I will be announcing all of that, so I might interrupt you in your analysis here, Phantom, but other than that, this is your show, dude. Hit it up.
All right. So I was tuning into Darius' stream, and they were discussing between the members here on Average Joes. They did advance against Mono to get here in the finals, so TSM doesn't really know too much about Average Joes as far as their roster or their members individually. So we might see some underdogness come out of Average Joes here because they do have the element of surprise. Taking a look at the bans, we do have Aurelia, Ari, and Janna coming out from blue team, which is Team Sulamid. And on purple side, we have Cassiopeia, Rise, and Shen for Average Joes. So those are all pretty much standard bans. We do have a few of them target bans. Cassiopeia, of course, Rise, and Shen. All really strong picks. They do not want Rachel to be on Cassiopeia as last game. But take a look at the first pick for Team Sulamid, because I got to catch up a little bit here. We have Shyvana being picked out for the odd one. A really strong jungler. Darius, I have not seen play Shyvana top lane, so I'm pretty sure that will be played by the odd one in the jungle. To match up, we have Zion Spartan picking Lee Sin and Zig picking Taric. I do believe that will be a Lee Sin jungle. I know One Bad Brad is a really good Lee Sin. Excuse me. And they are going to be running a Taric Urgot bottom lane. Something we have not seen too often. I believe that is a signature for this team. Average Joes has rolled that out quite a bit that we have streamed in the past, and I have viewed their profiles and seen that it's something that they do run. Now to the next picks, we do have an Alistar and a Morgana ban, so pretty standard all around for TSM. Alistar, of course, a really strong support, and of course Morgana, a really safe and strong pick for mid lane, which Reginald will play. And we do see the final 2 last picks of Team Sulamid are Gangplank and Misfortune. Gangplank will be played by Darius top lane. He most likely will be running the teleport, so he'll be going for that farm lane and control with the dragon and team fights as well. We also see MF coming out, so we have an MF Alistar bottom lane. That is a really strong pick. We do know that they are going up against Taric, so that Taric heal will be hindered a little bit from MF's healing reduction and on her W. And then looking at the final picks here for Average Joes, we do see that Kog'Maw is being chosen, and the last pick being Nautilus. So I actually think, excuse me, that is going to be a top lane Lee Sin and a Nautilus. No, that is going to be a Nautilus top lane by Zion Spartan, and One Bad Brad is indeed going to be playing Lee Sin. We might see a last second swap here, but I know One Bad Brad has played both Lee Sin and Nautilus, so looks like it is going to be staying with Lee Sin in the jungle. So that is going to indeed be a AP Kog'Maw mid lane. He is running that cleanse, so any kind of ganks from X Special maybe coming up to mid lane, to get his headbutt pull combo. Reginald, getting his binding stun. He will have that cleanse to get out of those CC abilities from Team Sulamid. So really good pick there. Oh, and yes, the last second trade, I was correct in what I originally thought. One Bad Brad is a really good Nautilus. He's going to be rolling that in the jungle. So that little bit of mind game there from to play against Team Sulamid. You want to sort of do that sometimes in Champ Select. you wait till the last second to pick, or you lock in right away if you know what you're going to pick, so you don't give the enemy team any sort of advantage as far as time to think about what to do, even for those next picks or going into the loading up into the game for the level 1. Now, I am aware that Average Joe's has been really aggressive in their level 1. They are typical in invading and going to ward the red, but so is Team Solo Mid. They have proven in the past that they do like to invade. Team Solo Mid does have a little bit of a stronger level 1 here. Both teams are really strong in their compositions. Just to take a look at top lane, we have Dyrus on Gangplank versus Zion Spartan. Zion does not have teleport, so Dyrus needs to play a little bit passive. He can't go in for the kill by himself unless he gets a gank from Odd1. Odd1 isn't running exhaust, so that usually means that he's not going to be ganking right off the bat. Shyvana doesn't have any hard CC unless she runs the exhaust summoner spell, so Odd1 is going to be deciding to most likely farm up and probably counter jungle. That flash is usually something to have as a safe summer spell to run if you're going to be counter jungling, and that's what we will see here. And then taking a look at the support, once again, we do see X Special is running Clairvoyance versus Spellsy, who is running Exhaust and Heal. So he is not running Flash at all. So we have Exhaust Heal and another double heal by Zig on Urgot with a flash. So he is going to be ulting, of course, on Urgot and then flashing away in those situations. So both teams are running interesting compositions. I think Average Joe's is running something a little bit not standard. They do have this strategy with the AP Kog'Maw. AP Kog'Maw is so strong mid lane. As soon as he gets 6 and level 7, he can clear the wave in just a few seconds. Of course, Morgana can do the same, so that was a great pick there by Reginald. But if AB Cog does not get locked down as well, he's going to be able to farm his race and also steal the enemy race. I believe when he does go over to the enemy ramp to take the enemy race, that is a choke point that he might get caught in, so he needs to be careful of that. He does have the flash and cleanse, as I've said several times, to get away from any of those sort of bindings, hard CCs. But AP Cog is just really strong. He relies a lot on his bile pool, which does majority of his damage, and once he gets that enemy champion slowed, he's able to return a lot of damage, a lot of poke with his ultimate and his long range. So this is an interesting matchup here. I see both teams are really good with their compositions, but I'd have to hand it here to Team Solo Mid, playing something a little bit more standard and late game based.
Well, they have been showing themselves a very strong showing this tournament, so I gotta say, kind of going to be rolling on their momentum. They got to be feeling good against that 2-0 win over Curse, and this game's about to get going here, folks. Game number 1, just your average Joes, up against Team Solo Mid for $5,000 cash. Now, we did have a Facebook winner. It was Chris McCracken, and I'm talking to Fatal1ty here, and he said, there were just so many answers saying the X77 that he just included everyone. So apparently that was also at Cbit. So I do apologize for saying that's the wrong answer because I wasn't told. But yep, Chris McCracken wins it, and everyone else, you do have that next chance. The next question is up, ready to go, and all you got to do is just try to guess how many frags has Fatal1ty done over his 18 years of gaming. Closest answer will win, and we'll have an update for whoever wins this next grand prize pack after the conclusion of this game, which I just cannot get over. Like, TSM and Just Your Average Joes. Just Your Average Joes, of course, came from the qualifying finals, so they've already won themselves 5 sound cards. They've already now guaranteed themselves at least $2,000, and if they can take this from TSM, I think that'll be quite the upset.
Yeah, they are definitely the underdog here. Not really known by the community, but all of them, of course, are top solo queue stars. So either team knows each other as far as players. I believe one Bad Brat is the most known on Average Joe's by TSM, Team Solo Mid. But here we go into the matchup. We see both teams are running mid lane. We do have a lot of pings going out by Average Joe's. We do have the Clairvoyance going down, scouting Captain Korea on Kog'Maw. So Team Solo Mid does know where the positioning is from Average Joe's. And Reginald's just going to sit mid, going to let them know, hey, we know where you're at. Average Joe's is not going to be able to do their invade that they like to do. We do see a ward going out on their Wraith ramp. And look at this, down bottom we have Chaos and Special slowly creeping in. They want to get that ward. Yes, there it is. There's that ward placed down, so they're going to have sight of that area, and they're going to know the timer on blue, and maybe be able to harass, or just look at that later on for what pathing one Bad Brad takes.
That's quite the ugly Urgot skin, but it's the default skin, so it's meant to be ugly. In a game where everything is just so pretty, I just cannot believe how grotesque it is. But anyways, whatever. Yeah, no invades going down, just lots of wards. I don't know, do you think that these guys would expect that this blue to be warded? I mean, we don't have team solo mid anywhere even near that, so there's not going to be any kind of big action. It does look like it will be business as normal. Odd One's going to start off here with the Wraiths. We're going to start off with these golems, giving that to a Chaos. And is Dyrus going to leash here? Nope. Maybe. Is he going to wait? I don't know what he's doing. He's just going to hang out. We're going to start these golems up here for Zion Brad, or at least he's going to snipe out the big one before hitting lane. And yeah, business as normal. Very passive. Bad Brad's going to be picking up this blue. No problem. Shyvana's going to get her red, especially coming over to help out with that. Chaos now first to his lane. Where?
Dyrus, he got a Doran's blade and is taking blue. So of course Odd One doesn't really need blue, so he's going to be getting that XP. He's going to be hitting level 2. He's going to be backing and then teleporting to the lane. So that is a very interesting strategy right there. Of course he's going to have blue for that early on laning against Zion Spartan, so he's going to have the XP advantage. He's going to have blue. And did he buy something? Yes, he bought 2 HP pots and a ward, so Zion is going to have a really tough time top lane. That's a great strategy by Dyrus.
Ever the innovator, that Dyrus. But with that blue, he just really wants to make this rain and bring the pain. You can see Spartan already dropping under half from just 1 Q and 2 auto attacks. He forces out that safeguard, no problem. But Reginald, he had to give away that blue. That's the big thing here. Man, usually he doesn't get it right off the bat anyways. And Odd One doing a little bit of poke over here by the Wraiths. So, instead of just letting it rot, they just took it, and it's probably going to work out extremely well for Dyrus, as you say.
Now, you saw that ward that X Special placed in the Average Joe's blue early on. That granted them the understanding of where one Brad on Nautilus was going. So as you see, Odd One, of course he's picking... He has that flash and not exhaust, so he's going to be trying to counter jungle as much as he can. And as you see, he was really aggressive against one Bad Brad earlier, forced him to blow his flash, and has taken the big Wraith and the big double golem, so he's just going to be on him the entire time. One Bad Brad just has to back out. Reginald now coming up to just take this buff away from them. So he's going to be falling behind. Reginald getting free damage off. We do see that some damage is coming on Reginald. He's falling below half HP. Is he going to go down now? He's going to flash out. One Brad did smite that, so he did take the buff. That wasn't what TSM wanted, and unfortunately, Team Solomid will get away because of that.
I don't know. They're really going to go hardcore into Odd One. The anchor just not connecting, but with a good binding from Reginald. Either way, they're down in the health, and that's a lot of lost laning time. Whereas, this bottom lane, both sitting here very easily. Chaos actually getting right out from that queue. Good job for him. And now Bad Brad with the blue, and the red's going to come up here, say hello to Dyrus. Lands the anchor, but Lee Sin just not in position and not really affording a lot of health to his name either. Dyrus could very easily just turn around and smack him in the face a few times. Could be in very much danger, but that was a terrible sentence.
Look at how many HP pods Zion Spartan has.
He is rocking 0.
Dyrus has just been so aggressive because of that blue, getting back mana. He has that orange to heal up. He has the extra mana to toss out parlay whenever it's up, and Zion is just getting so denied. But look, he has 18 CS versus Dyrus's 23. So he's doing a decent job with all of this aggression. Getting as much CS as he can. He's shielding those parlays whenever he gets a chance. Bottom lane, we do have Average Joe's pushing up this lane quite a bit. Chaos taking a little bit of a poke. And mid lane, we do have Reginald did back out to base. He did buy a Doran's ring and some HP pots and a ward. Whereas, Captain Korea is going to push this lane. It's always intelligent to push your lane when you know your opponent is not there, so that the tower does deny some gold and XP from your opponent.
So Team Solo made despite going back or not being in lane, they're still up a little bit in the gold department. They're about 700 ahead at this point. No kills on the board, but Dyrus' blue is now faded, so he's not going to have that infinite mana regen. And the jungler has now taken over top. Zion Spartan has come back, more wards, has himself those ninja tabbies, so going to be trying to reduce all that extra auto attack damage that Dyrus is afforded really from a lot. So Dyrus, he's doing extremely well up top. In terms of creep kills, we got close to 40 now, 39 on Chaox, but he had to go on back, picks up those Doran blades that he likes to be running, and only person really close to that is 37 here for Urgot. But across the board, it does look like TSM has a slight creep advantage from this laning phase.
I really like how Odd1 is just being so aggressive here onto One Bad Brad, denying him everything practically. He just wasted a full 10 seconds walking over to his wolves just to find that Odd1 just took it. And, Odd1 placed a ward down in that blue bush, so he's going to have the sight when One Bad Brad tries to take that blue buff. He most likely will be trying to give it to Captain Korea because AP Cog with blue is going to be able to push that lane and be really aggressive, continuously throwing out his ult. Of course, the more ults that he casts does stack up 40 additional mana every time he uses that spell over the course of a few seconds. It's 6 seconds when it resets. So there is that blue. You see Team Solo mid understands this. Bottom lane, Zig and Spellsy do respond. They know this. Morgana throws out a binding onto Spellsy. There's the ultimate, but Spellsy pops his heal and will run away just fine. And Odd1 might take a little bit too damage here from Zig. There's the AP Cog trying to cut them off. He does flash away from that binding, and Odd1 does get stunned by Tarek.
Now Odd1 is going to be running away, has the black shield on top of him. Here's the ultimate from Dyrus, trying to help out. We're looking for that first blood. Odd1 is still so very low, but now Chaox looks to be a big target. Lee Sin is down here. Zion Spartan going to get in front of him with the Dragon Kick, and that has sealed the deal. Chaox will be the first blood going to One Bad Brad, so all that counter jungling, all to waste now that he has a first blood under his belt, and the blue is still here to give away to that AP Kog'Maw. So they might get this blue, and they might even get the Dragon. Nah, they're going to go back to town. No Dragon for them, but overall, excellent play there by Just Your Average Joes, responding to that extremely well. Dyrus, he threw down that ultimate, didn't blow down that teleport. It is up and ready to go, but he will be able to land a lot of damage onto this tower.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Dyrus didn't teleport down there. I know he did ultimate, so he was trying to support his team, but there might have been a call, just saying, hey, Dyrus, stick top. This isn't looking so well to our team. And he was most definitely watching, but look at this. He's taking a lot of aggression now from Zion as he says, stop it, being a little bit of a troll here and falling below half HP.
Oh, Dyrus.
Silly Dyrus.
Yeah, he's a funny one, that one. But, without any mana, and he's going to get denied the teleport back. Dyrus is going to be dropping the Zion Spartan, but, oh, look at that brilliant safeguard to the last creep. Not going to go down to that tower. Poor Dyrus. He's not in a good mindset right now.
I'm really impressed by Zion Spartan just having so much of a disadvantage at the start of a game. That's really how you determine a good player, someone that's being presented with a challenge, and he's just come ahead. He came down to that little fight down bottom lane where Reginald and Odd1 were trying to invade that blue. So he responded very well to his team, was there to get that ultimate to seal the kill onto Chaox, and now he got a kill onto Dyrus. So Zion Spartan proving to be the MVP of the game at the moment. He's now at 40 CS. Dyrus is at 61. So Dyrus is a little bit ahead, but he does have that kill. So top lane now, even though he's been behind, he is now in the lead with that gold from that one kill.
Reginald versus the blue buff Captain Korea is just going back and forth, and that black shield must be doing dividends for him up against that Kog'Maw. A lot of spam can come out of him, and bottom lane is just, they're kind of just partying out. After Chaox died, he does not have any big item pickups, and he's just going to need to really try to farm to recuperate all those times that he was away from the bottom lane. Zion Spartan again throwing down big deeps on top of Dyrus. And at this point, looks like business is normal. Odd1's in the jungle, heading back town. Nautilus running around is now level 6. And Spartan is still keeping this big damage on top of Dyrus. He really wants to, prove that he's the worst top NA.
Bottom lane, I really want to point out how awesome of a team composition the Average Joe's has with this Tarek and Urgot. Tarek literally just throws out his stun. Urgot throws down his corrosive charge, and then continues to just throw his Acid Hunter out, keep poking down from that long range onto X Special and Chaos. And Chaos has had to back up and lost CS. He's at 65. Urgot is at 76. So Zig is doing a great job. That combination down bottom just so very strong. They've landed every single time. Tark has his stunned up, and that's just proving to have a huge advantage for their team.
Now again, Zion Spartan just really holding this lane at the tower of Dyrus. He's not really too fearful of any kind of ganks. We got a ward out there in the river. It's been there about half of its duration, and if Odd1 wants to come up here, he's going to have to do some really fancy maneuverings to avoid that ward. So Zion Spartan feeling really good about it in the mid. 103 creep kills for Reginald, and it does look like only 80 or so for Captain Korea. It's really hard to out-farm a Morgana. That black goo of hers is really, really adept at, you know, landing these creep kills. So she has a little bit of a money advantage right there, but we do have an assist on the board for Captain Korea, and it does look like he's going to head on back and do a little bit of shopping.
And he does have his tiers, so AP Cog, you know, going to be eventually building that into an Archangel staff, probably at the very end of the game. Archangel staff is not really the best AP item in the game. Most of the people do get Death Cap, and here we see a lot of aggression top lane. Zion Spartan ulting onto Dyrus, just being so aggressive right on top of the tower, getting as many last hits as he can. And bottom lane, we do have a flash from X Special, headbutt onto Spellsy. Spellsy really deep inside and is most likely going to fall down. Unfortunately, X Special does pick up the kill. That's not what TSM wanted, but it is a kill over the 2 kills that Average Joe's does have.
It'll put him up. Yeah, sure. Puts a kill on the board. Actually puts him now ahead in the gold. Zion Spartan checking out this blue, noticing nothing there. And Brad, you know, he's doing a little bit of that river cross into hostile territory. Now, we do have X Special. I mean, we still got this ward up here. He's throwing down another one. Have they timed out the blue? Yes, they have. Look at that. So it pops, and it will be going to TSM, as Captain Korea might be a little bit too late in order to try to steal it. He's going to try his darndest. We got one of the minion kills out of it, but Odd1 that picks up that blue. Great deny action from Team Solo mid right there.
We say Average Joe's tried to do the same thing by going over Team Solo mid's blue to counter that, but they saw that X Special, you know, the Team Solo mid took the advantage that Spellsy just died and went up to ward the blue. They had the timer. Odd1 knew it when it was going to come up, and they responded and took that. So every little advantage you can get to your team, I think it's nice now that we see in this current meta a lot of control over this red and blue buff. Going back about 6 to 8 months ago, we never really saw that too much. It was just more or less team fights. We saw control over Dragon, but now we're going to fine-tuning. You know, these players are getting better, the skill cap is increasing, and we're seeing a lot of control over the red and blue buffs.
Dyrus does lose his first tower, and you know, this is kind of interesting. We've now seen Dyrus lose his lane twice in a row. That last game against Curse, and now this one up against Zion Spartan, even dropping a kill. And I don't know, I don't really want to say it's a terrible thing, because TSM, every time he loses his lane, seems to win. But at the same time, you never want to lose your lane, so unfortunately, that seems to be the way it is. We throw down that Clairvoyance, we shoo out this enemy Joe team, and yeah, Reginald's safely going to be picking up that blue. Now, where is Chaos going? There is a dragon. Nope, he's just going to go all the way to mid. Cool.
I think he's just having a stroll in the park. They may... Oh, look at this ult onto Captain Korea from Reginald. And Captain Korea did burn his flash. There's a little bit of exchange damage onto Reginald, but it's not going to be anything really serious. It's just going to be some damage, poking out the opportunity to possibly get a kill, and both players from each team are going to pop out. So Chaos coming from mid, still sticking here. They may be trying to push mid, I believe, and then you know, take that advantage from zoning the enemy team as far as that angle, that wrap around to Dragon.
Well, they're not really going to make a lot of progress up against an AP cog. As you can see, he's now starting to clear those creep waves with very frightening accuracy. 126 creep kills. Still Reginald in the lead, 149. He's going to find himself a Nautilus in the bush. Has to throw out that black shield. That's right, its duration will come back up in just a few moments. We have the artilleries going out. Chaos gets hit by the anchor, the ultimate going out. And unfortunately, nothing going to be actually going on there. Dyrus now gets that top tower, throws down his ultimate with the misfortune, but she gets swapped out by the Urgot. Shyvana going in, going for Spellsy, is able to pick it up. At least Sin is here as well. And does look like he's going to be in hot pursuit. Flashing going out. Odd One is trying to get out of danger. Reginald is now going to be the target, as Zion Spartan's going to be jumping in. Great flash from Reginald, but the counter from Zion. He follows it up, gets himself that kill. And somebody's chasing down Kog'Maw. Yeah, Dyrus is teleported in. He's chasing down that Kog'Maw. He's going to come back. And he's basically full health, but 2-on-1. I'm not too sure what he can do. We do have Zion Spartan down here playing around at the red with X Special. X Special really trying to do some damage, but that shield is so strong. X Special is now on the retreat, as is Dyrus, but Zion gets off the Hadoken into the kick. Is he going to get out of this? He's looking. There we go. We got a heal going off. Odd One's now going to be the target. Can Dyrus pick up the kill? He will. But will he be okay? He eats an orange. It looks like he's all right for now. Chaos coming back in after the respawn. Whew, wow, that was a lot of stuff going on.
Yes, and Dyrus is now sticking into the fight, following onto Ziggs. Ziggs gets headbutt and is for sure going to fall. That was an amazing team fight from both teams. I want to point out the synergy from that Urgot flash onto Chaos, with the Nautilus all instantly following right afterwards, and Chaos just dropped instantly. We did see Dyrus teleport a little bit late, but he did do his job by following Captain Korea and did take up the kill. We saw also Zion Spartan falling extremely low, did get caught by the Reginald binding and pull, but stayed, even though he had like a sliver of health, and was able to get that kill onto Reginald.
Reginald might be going for a kill on top of Captain Korea, throws out the black shield, but Captain Korea gets out of the ultimate after a cleanse. And wow, one artillery round just really takes down Reginald. Not going to get hit by that Hadoken, and they got themselves another dragon. Oh, actually, no,
Reginald
that's the first dragon. That's the first
yes, that's the first dragon in the game. Reginald does now have a Zonia's, so these team fights are going to be really fishy for Average Joes. If Reginald does engage, they're going to have the few seconds. Team Solomon's going to have a few seconds to, choose what they want to have happen by, forcing all the members of Average Joes to either reposition themselves or eat that Morgana ult.
Well, looks like the tower is going to be up for grabs. They get a few hits onto it, but really there's no creeps to go with this, and nobody wants to tank that damage, especially with Jester Average Joe's right here. And is it me, or did Nautilus like heal up? Yeah, okay, he has all that shield damage. So it's like, well, he got inside that binding, but nothing really happened. And now the counter push coming on. The anchor barely missing Reginald. Not too sure that TSM's going to be able to do anything about this.
Yes, this is a fantastic job by Average Joes. Even though they lost Dragon, they are aware that Team Solomon was backing out quite a bit, and they grouped up as a team. It's really hard to answer against all 5 members of the enemy team who are right on top of each other going for an objective. Usually it takes a few seconds for Team Solomon to group up and try and contest that, but it was too late. They couldn't do anything, and so that tower did fall down. Looks like they're going to continue on. Average Joe's trying to get some poke onto this tower. Any little bit of damage will help later on when they finally do decide to push down and take that tower. Well, Dyrus is still farming top lane.
Yep.
He doesn't have his teleport up, so he's just going to be sticking up there. As you said, he kind of was losing his lane, these last 2 games, but and he did teleport quite a bit late into both of those team fights, but he has done a decent job. He does have 2 kills. He does have 152 CS, so he's up quite a bit. He does have more CS than any person on Average Shows, so he's more or less going to be farming for endgame, where we will see him contributing a lot more in those team fights.
Odd One cleaning up this push on the bottom, and the lane is now going to be heading on back. Reginald going to be getting herself a nice blue, which would be great for putting up that harass and that pressure into the mid lane. Urgot with a Frozen Heart at 20 minutes. We got a Shirelia's now on Nautilus. Kog'Maw has a Rod of Aegis, so a little bit more tanky than he used to be. And other than that, you know, we had that Zhonya's on Reginald, I think at the 18-minute mark, which is pretty impressive. I mean, to get a big item before 20 is something you really want to do. What happened to Zig? I don't know. But he has that Frozen Heart, and he has the Brutalize, and we've been seeing this combo quite a bit on the recent Urgot plays, at least in like the bigger tournaments and streams.
And Fime did run that in Hanover, Germany. The Urgot obviously teleporting into the enemy team, flashing, and you know, that's the initiation for Average Joe's. Basically, he grabs the carry, which would most likely be Chaos, and then is building a little bit of a tanky item build, so he can survive a lot more damage than Chaos would, which would literally drop inside of his team.
Well, we're going to have to see if we can perfect that strategy right now. The kills are dead even. We have 1 dragon to Team Solomid's name, and the gold is literally within 1,000 at this point in the game. Dyrus, now, what has he done? He has himself that Wriggles and an Atmos after the Ninja Tabby. So are we going to see a Frozen Mallet or Warmog to go with that Atmos, or what do you think?
I think it's a little bit late for a Warmog. He most likely will be building straight damage, because right now we do have more serious things that Average shows need to worry about, and not Dyrus, like the Morgana Flash Alt Zhonya combo. Okay. That they will most likely have to you know, either focus really quickly. Of course, Reginald does have that Zhonya's. Look at all this damage coming out from Captain Korea just continuously. He got the clan.
Yeah. I thought he thought that he was actually binded.
Yeah, that binding didn't go on to him. It went on to one bad Brad. So a little bit of a misclick there. I believe he sort of thought of course he was focusing on Reginald, and I guess thought in his mind that he was the one binded. So now he's not going to have that cleanse up, and Morgana, Team Solomid do know that. So we're going to see Reginald trying getting a binding onto Captain Korea here in the next team fight.
Now check this out. Spellsy trying to kite out the red buff, trying to give it away, but Shyvana is right there. The flash from Zig going into the ultimate, and Odd One drops despite this ultimate coming out from Dyrus. We are going to be throwing out that binding onto Spellsy, but now it's going to be Zion Spartan trying to do some damage here. Right now TSM looks like they're in a decent position for defense, but hey, they gave up a free kill right there, and well, that red buff to boot. Not exactly what TSM wants at this point.
This combination between the Urgot Flash ult and Nautilus ult is just so strong. I wonder if they're going to take this game. We might see a ban for those champions in the next round. Of course, they will leave open quite a bit. Here we see the ult from Reginald initiated on all 5 teammates, not zoning right away. There's the Zhonya.
We had Chaos's ultimate in there as well. Bad Brad does have to flash on out. Zig is going to be using his heal for him, and Zion Spartan. Now it looks like we are going to be chasing down Captain Korea. The flash into the parlay, into another flash from Captain Korea, but I think Dyrus really, really wants that kill. He's going to get exhausted. Throw out a parlay onto Spellsy, and Zion Spartan is just being right there just before they discover where he is. So, you know, a kill for a kill. And it does look like maybe we're going to come down here to the blue. The blue is there. They do have it timed out perfectly. Reginald will very gladly take that.
Yeah, so Team Solomid deciding to take that blue right away instead of the dragon. They just want to deny Average Joe's any sort of little opportunity to you know, gain any buffs or any gold or anything for that matter. Zion Spartan does come in here. Odd One is forced to ult away, so he's most likely going to be fine, but Zion does land a Q and is in hot pursuit of Odd One, but he will be safe from his tower. Mid lane we do have Captain Korea still throwing on these ults to Reginald. Reginald most likely really annoyed by that damage. Of course, AP Cog is not the funnest matchup to go up against because he just has so much poke, and those ults hurt.
Oh, for sure they do, and you can just see how Reginald's like a magnet to them at this point. We haven't really missed too many from Captain Korea, so spot on aim. It's exactly what you want. We throw out a binding, it's not going to find anything, and Reginald is just going to have to ride the creep wave at this point. Zion Spartan's going to pick up this farm up top. Does look like our red will be taken by Jester Average Joe, so Nautilus will be the recipient of that, and odd one getting blue for, I guess, Dyrus. Yep, Dyrus is going to be picking that one up.
Zigwood had the opportunity bottom lane to push that tower, but he has no wards and had to back off. So now he's pushing forward as he does see the rest of the team solo mid members. So he could have taken that tower, but you know that just shows how important map control is, because he had an easy objective he could have obtained, but because he did not see any of the members of Team Solo Mid, he couldn't take it. Of course, we can see all of the map, but he doesn't know that, so that's why it's so important across all of the roles to buy wards and you know, just claim that map. We see Team Solo Mid roaming around now. Odd One has an Oracle, so they do have full control over the Baron. Spellsy most likely going to be dropping a ward down here soon into the Baron area to reclaim that coverage for his team. Zion does pop the ward, and Spellsy does pop a ward a little bit further away. There's the ping from Team Solo Mid, so they do know that that area is warded. Odd One will probably at some point come through and clean that up. We don't have an Oracles on Average Joe's. Spellsy does not have enough gold to buy it just yet. Looks like they're roaming over here now trying to take this blue, but it is not up, so they may be just trying to poke or even cut someone off to take that Baron. You will see teams here roam as 5, and that the purpose of that is to create an opportunity. If you just sit with your team members in the lane or go through your jungle and you really don't do anything, you're going to see no opportunities to come ahead. Average Joe's does recognize this, so they know they have to do something here. The gold count is still fairly close. They are losing by about 3,000 gold, so it's not that much, but they want to create a play for themselves. They do have all actually there's bottom lane still up. There's a little bit of HP left, so we have a 2-2 tower count from both teams, and it looks like Average Joe's will not have the ability to create any plays here. We do see a Clairvoyance coming down from X Special onto Baron. Clairvoyance on Baron is actually, it's a good or bad thing. One, it lets the enemy team know that you have no coverage over it, so that's why you don't see X Special spam Clairvoyance onto Baron. So they're coming up now. Team Solo Mid has absolutely no coverage over it. All the wards were cleared or did fade away, and now they're going to reclaim this area and most likely take down both of those wards that Average Joe's has in that area.
It looks like Dyrus is thinking of himself for a Triforce.
Mm-hmm. He's going to be going damage, just like I thought.
Yep.
He has 3 kills, so he has the most kills on the team.
Most
sort of going to
too.
be
Yep.
carrying. Yeah, he does recognize it. It's always good to understand what role you need to adjust in. Of course, he is playing the top lane, which is typically the bruiser lane, but you know, things do happen in this game. Sometimes, let's say for example, mid lane, Reginald might be losing and not doing so well, or not getting enough gold. His team might not be getting any dragons, so he doesn't have the gold to build. Let's say if he wanted to build a death cap, or you know, be really strong as far as AP wise, so he might just build a Zonias and go for support items, and just understand that his role on the team is just to initiate and get that ult off and Zonias, whereas normally he might, you know, have a lot of gold, have a lot of kills, and then understand he needs to build more into the AP to do a lot more damage. So it's, these players do know what they're doing. They are changing up their items to compensate for what's going on in the game. But look at this one bad Brad on Nautilus, so close to Team Solo Mid right now. Both players, both teams do not know where each other. Oh my goodness, he's gonna walk in this bush. He does get caught by a binding. There is the headbutt pull from X Special, and he flashes out. Is he gonna get away with enough health? They're gonna stick him down.
50, 40 hit points. Yeah.
Wow.
He used the flash though, and he used his spells to get out of that. And that is exactly what they wanted. No, Reginald's going to jump right in with this. Dyrus ultimate going out, not really hitting anyone. So good initiative, but catching 3 of them, not going to lead into any kind of kill. Zion Spartan, however, is going to be trying to pick off Chaos with the black shield and the flash throws out the ultimate, but it's not really going to land on too many people. Now Reginald's getting hit from artillery range, and now Odd1 is going to be dropping to that AP cog, and now he's just going to try to play, you know, let's shoot ducks in a barrel. He gets a Reginald with the long range ultimate. That's going to be a quick double kill for him. So what turned out to be what we thought was a great idea for TSM to jump in ended costing them 2 kills. And who got the blue buff?
I am really surprised there. The Nautilus almost dying with an Oracle. Average Joe's continued to you know, fall in and take that objective. We saw Zion Spartan jumping onto Chaos, and he did so much damage. As the pings back from Zig telling Zion to back off, you've done enough. They're going to take this blue. And looks like they're starting Baron here. This might be a little bit dangerous because the members from Team Solo Mid are spawning, so they are coming back. Chaos is in the area, but he is half HP. One bad Brad now clearing the ward. They need to get this coverage so that Team Solo Mid can't have the information to make decisions. But yeah, Zion literally dived inside of 5 members of Team Solo Mid on that blue. There was 2 flashes right off the bat. He did flash to try and take that last E damage to kill Chaos, but Chaos did flash a millisecond before. And as I said, even though one bad Brad on Nautilus was low, he wasn't even present. The Average Joes decided to go in, and they won that fight. Like, I cannot believe how coordinated and how amazing this team is doing so far, versing against Team Solo Mid, who is arguably one of the best teams in the world.
They're doing extremely well for themselves, that is for sure. Jester Average Joe's up 8-6, but they're still down about 1,000 in gold. Could be some of that global because it is tied on the turrets, but I do believe we have a dragon or 2 now to Team Solo Mid's name. And now we're going to pick up another one as Odd1 is soloing it down here. Jester Average Joe's does not seem to know at all, though we do have a clairvoyance going off. Will catch them coming down to Odd1, but no, he's going to pick that up, put them up another 1,000 gold in the lead. But overall, Chaos, I mean, I don't know how he lived out of that, but great teamwork coming out of Reginald and company. I mean, we just had that black shield go down on him. He flashed away, but Zion didn't care. He was still able to help Captain Korea pick up 2 kills. And yeah, Chaos picked up that blue buff from their side. So we've actually had control of both blue buffs for Team Solo Mid for quite a while now. It does not seem to matter to Jester Average Joe's at all, because now they're starting to take a little bit more initiative in these fights and landing some of these kills.
Oh, but Team Solo Mid might get baited here into the bush. No, they do place a ward down. Excellent ward there from X Special, scouting the bush. He knows that team they baited a couple times once before, so they know that strategy. Team Solo Mid is going to decide to push here, but look at this. We do have Average Joe's trying to take Baron as fast as they can. They've only had a 4th HP down, so this might be a bad decision. There's the slow from AP Cog, and we might see a team fight here.
Spellsy gets hit by the binding. Zion Spartan is leading the way. He is kind of their most survivable champion at this point. Darius are going to throw down the ultimate, but no, Zion Spartan finally gets into X Special. He's going straight for Chaos, who has to throw down that QSS. Does not matter whatsoever. Zion picks him off. Reginald now does drop as well, as the Odd1 is running for his life. Darius getting picked on, eats an orange. It's not going to be K, because he's about to drop as well. Captain Korea picking him up. Odd1 looks like he will successfully get out, but that's because X Special will be going down to this extreme focus fire, and that was, count it, 4 for 0 for Jester Average Joe's right there. Zion Spartan basically insta-giving Chaos, taking him right out of the fight, and there's nothing TSM can do about it. They're going to lose this tower, lose this inhibitor, maybe even go get a Baron, I don't know, but that was extremely well played on their part.
You know, I've noticed something a little bit worrying about Team Solo Mid. They don't have any Merc treads across the team, so they don't have those stun and CC reductions, which Average Joe's have a ton of. They of course have the Taric stun, they have the Urgot ultimate, they have the slow from Kog'Maw, they have the passive stun from Nautilus, and the hook stun. They also have the slow from Lee Sin. So there's a lot of CC abilities on Average Joe's, and you see Team Solo Mid has no Merc treads. They have Chaos is running the Berserker Greaves. We see X Special running the cooldown boots. Dyrus running the Ninja Tabi. We have Reginald running Sork Shoes, and finally Odd1 running the Ninja Tabi. So they were sort of building for early game, and they're not compensating for the CC. Look at all of that damage returned from Captain Korea.
Oh my goodness, Reginald trying to do the whole flash in with the ult, gets off the Zonias before dropping, and he is definitely going to be in some pain. He throws up the Black Shield. It's enough for Shyvana to pick up Spellsy as Dyrus is able to take out Captain Korea, but Chaos will drop. Zion Spartan is now going to be trying to chase down this Reginald, and oh, he might be able to pick up a double on both Dyrus as well as Reggie, but that flash from Dyrus just enough to get out. Odd1 is still here, but he will be dropping to Zig, and now X Special, I don't think he have enough damage to take down that Nautilus, so he is going to be running, and by running I mean dying. But yeah, he will drop 3-2, almost 4 if Dyrus and Reginald had dropped to that Zion Spartan. He picks himself up another double. That could have spelled extreme ace for just your average Joes, and you can see they're now going to go straight to this Baron, and they're going to attempt this while we have everyone recuperating from Team Solomid.
So Team Solomid had a good idea there. They wanted to initiate, you know, to not let average Joes get that combo that they've been doing this entire time, where they focus Chaos. Chaos gets ulted by Nautilus and Urgot, and then just gets focused by Zion Spartan, where he, you know, Chaos just takes so much damage, gets bursted down. They had the right idea, but they did not execute it. And even though Zion Spartan wasn't there in the team fight, he was able to come in. We saw him throw out his Q, and Chaos saw that and instantly flashed away because he knew what had happened in those previous fights. He doesn't want Zion to get close, but it didn't matter because you had Zig on Urgot just completely tunnel vision focused onto Chaos, and it was enough damage to drop him down. Zig does have that frozen heart, so if he's staying close to Chaos, Chaos is going to have that attack speed, 20% attack speed reduction, and won't be able to output as much damage as he normally wants to. So this composition by average Joes is like almost a counter meta. You have, you know, typically in team fights you have the AD as the most important role because he can put out so much damage in a prolonged amount of time, whereas, you know, the only other person that can do a lot of damage is an AP burst champion. So instead of Chaos being able to sit back and auto attack, he's just completely getting locked down, and there's nothing he can do about it. We do have average Joes now taking this first tower in the lane for bottom from Team 7. They're going to be pushing through, most likely forcing another team fight here. Team Solomid is trying to respond. They're a little bit late, but you know, average Joes does know there's the ward from Spellsy, and here's the initiation from both teams.
Shirilia being popped on both sides. We are going to have Darius thrown on the ultimate, trying to slow them up, but Darius can't take too much more damage from Zig. He is going to have to back off, so the Shirilia chasing a Shirilia, of course, not able to catch them, but oh no, they got Chaos, the QSS going off. It's not going to matter whatsoever. The next special is going to be dropping to join him down in the depths of Davy Jones, as Nautilus is able to pick up the kill on top of Chaos. Now Reginald throwing out that binding, but he gets really returned very I cannot believe how much damage Captain Korea is doing right now with that artillery shell. But that's another 2-0. Yeah,
AP Cog is just so strong. I saw that coming there. Did you see how Zion Spartan wasn't even there? He wasn't even in that fight.
No, he wasn't. He came in late. It doesn't matter. The mid, you know, they have to deal with these super minions. They're going to lose another inhibitor, and now it's looking very much like, you know, Curse versus TSM last game. The score is 17-8. There's only about 5k gold difference, but now we're down 2 inhibitors as Odd1 tries to make something happen, but he gets hit by that gigantic anchored Reginald again with the ultimate into Azonia's, but it's not enough to save Shyvana as she drops. Reginald pops like a cherry, and yeah, Dyrus down as well. That's at least going to be 1 kill for X Special, but GG's coming out. Lee Sin with a frowny face for some reason, but that's going to be game number 1. TSM dropping it to just your average Joes, but that's okay. It's a best of 3. They've now seen this comp in action. Hopefully we can bring something a bit more to the table, but these teams are playing for $5,000 cash. You got to put up your A game, and I suspect TSM is going to do exactly that.
It was just a phenomenal play there from average Joes, really taking it home. They knew exactly what their team comp was capable of, and even though Zion Spartan wasn't there a few times in those team fights that Team Solomid initiated, they just were able to do so much damage. I don't know if you saw there at the very end where Reginald, after his Zonias just got destroyed by Captain Korea on AP Cog. AP Cog just doing so much damage there at the end. It was just phenomenal play from that composition. If you actually look at the damage done, he is the most in the game. What the heck? AP Cog. Is this the new AP? The new OP? I think possibly so.
I don't know, but he's been running that at least 3 games that we've seen him in.
It is a really strong strategy. As you saw there, that last team fight, Team Solomid tried to initiate. They popped the Zonias. You know, Zonias is basically like you know the enemy team is going to be committing. You know they're going to be trying and engaging. And we just have the AP Cog throw down his slow. We have the Urgot turn around and get all that poke damage, and they just backed out. Waited till it was the right time. We saw Chaos had his strut passive. It was not up. It was canceled. So they saw how he was lingering behind and just picked him off like vultures, and they did a great job, and that is why they took this game.
20-9. Pretty ridiculous. All right, game number 2 going to be coming your way, guys. Let's get this game set up. FourCourtJester and Phantom Lord tripping over all our words tonight, and we're going to be coming to you guys in game number 2 when we get back after a word from our sponsors.